Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Grow Folds, and today we'll be doing a Plantcon Houston 2025 haul featuring Greenspaces ID plants. These are plants that I just recently pre-ordered to pick up at Plantcon 2025, and today I will be showing you how Greenspaces ID communicates with me. Greenspaces ID is actually an Indonesian nursery that ships out to the US using a broker called plantstop.us, which makes it a lot easier to receive these gorgeous plants. As always, please make sure you are pressing the thumbs up or like button for this video. It definitely helps push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself. And you'll notice right over here, plant foldies, I am showing you some of the Jumbo Aglaonema that I pre-ordered from Greenspaces ID. You can see that the growers are actually removing all of the soil substrate from these massive Aglaonema that I got for such a good price. You can see that they are removing the soil. And what I love about Greenspaces ID is I have been buying plants from them for more than a year now. They have such amazing communication. And so I asked them to actually send me videos of the plants while they are still in Indonesia to showcase what kind of care they place in order to be able to export these plants into the United States. So you can see that they are taking a lot of time cleaning out all of the soil substrate, making sure that every single speck of soil substrate is removed, because under the USDA regulations, no foreign soil is to be able to enter the United States. So in order to get plants from overseas, you have to make sure that they are from a reputable nursery that follows these guidelines. You can see right over here, this is the Aglaonema Intan Rupon that I received from Greenspaces ID. So if you are not already following Greenspaces ID on Instagram, please follow them at Greenspaces ID, and you can also order plants from them using their website greenspaces.id. You can see right here, once they remove the soil substrate and they clean the soil, and they actually use some type of cleaning chemical to ensure that all of the potential pests that might be on the plant are eradicated. These plants have to go through a strict quarantine process. And then you can see right over here, they are now taking the roots and wrapping it in what I call a diaper, which is basically a bunch of sphagnum moss to protect the roots. So you can see that there is a lot involved whenever you are getting plants from overseas. And this is a reason why, as much as I've actually shown a lot of my big box store plant shopping videos, there is a lot of question when it comes to getting plants from overseas. I have had a couple of other videos where I did unboxings, but this particular video will actually showcase the process and give you insights on what it looks like when it comes to us to the United States, which is where I am based at. But you can see right here, look at this massive Aglaonema. It is just a jumbo size, and I will tell you, they gave me such an amazing price for these plants. I just love the fact that Greenspaces ID has been shipping plants for several years now all over the world, and you can just see that they are a reputable nursery that follows those guidelines. They make getting plants from overseas a little bit more simple and easy. And then you can see right here, Aglaonema Pretty Woman. Look at the beautiful pink there is. So I just recently visited Plantcon 2025 in Houston, Texas, and it was the biggest Plantcon I have ever gone to, and I've gone to all the Plantcon in Houston last year, Dallas, and even Orlando earlier this year. But as I've learned, if you want to get plants from overseas, such as these rare and uncommon Aglaonema, like this Aglaonema Hughes, what a beautiful jumbo size plant. And you know, as far as Greenspaces ID, I actually communicate with them and send them messages via Instagram and WhatsApp. And what I love about it is they will always send me the plant that I will be receiving. They will show me videos, and you can see right here, these are all the Aglaonema, Jumbo Aglaonema that I will be picking up, or I have picked up at Plantcon 2025 in Houston. So in terms of getting plants from overseas, if you plan to attend Plantcon, you can do a pre-order, which they will offer you 20% off of the plants that you order for them to send to plantstop.us, which is a broker out in New Jersey, and then they bring the plant plants to Plantcon for you to pick up. So as far as that, I really love that process. And so I couldn't help myself from getting just these plants. You can see that the care that the workers do in order to secure the plant. You can see once they've gotten these plants quarantined, pest-free, soil-free, they are now packing these to where they're going to wrap it up and make sure that they're securely packed to travel more than 10,000, yes, 10,000 miles from Indonesia to the United States. And we're gonna see my unboxing video. In terms of getting plants from overseas, a couple of things you should know whenever you are buying plants from overseas is number one, make sure you find a trusted seller such as Greenspaces ID. Number two, in order to really know whether you can trust a seller or not, number one, they should have a lot of reviews, not just reviews from just random bots, but actual legitimate people. And if you're able to actually find a seller that, say, you got a recommendation from somebody that's actually bought plants and received plants from the seller, that is a plus. In terms of communication, the overseas seller should be able to be reached multiple times at any point during the process of getting these plants from overseas. Also know whether you need to have an import license or not, or if you are actually getting plants to which they go through a broker. So for instance, Greenspaces ID goes through a broker to the point where I don't necessarily have to utilize my personal import license, which I have. They are able to just have the broker take care of the clearance fees, the phytosanitary certificate, which is very important because these plants have to enter your destined country legally. So I just wanted to put all of those factors out there, but you can see how they are packing these plants securely. I do want to shout out Anggit, the customer service rep for Greenspaces ID, for really having such great customer service. Anggit, the person who is doing the customer service, I just wanted to shout you out because through your communication, through all of these videos, which he sent himself to show the process, I am able to really create awareness for those that might be having questions on whether they should buy plants from overseas. I would say definitely go through Greenspaces ID because they have been doing this for quite a while, and you can even see through my videos the process. Here are a couple of other things you do need to know about getting plants from overseas. Number one, not all of the plants you get from overseas will always make it in perfect condition. Expect to have some cosmetic damage. Expect for leaves to die off, or even expect that the plant may just not acclimate to our environment. Not all of the plants that you get from overseas will just acclimate to our environment. Some of them will just end up going to plant heaven. So that is the risk of getting plants from overseas. Now, the reward of getting plants from overseas is, for instance, in my case, I am obsessed, in love, addicted, whatever you want to call it, to aglaonema. And there is no other way to receive these gorgeous aglaonema without getting them from overseas, just because the United States market, aside from Costa Farms releasing a lot of these hybrids, there's not a big selection. And for me, speaking of my experience at Plantcon 2025 in Houston, aglaonemas are just not really sought after plants. And a lot of it has to do with the selection of the plants, people not necessarily being aware of how easy these plants are to take care of, and then just the sheer social media presence of these plants. Many plants, especially the ones that are trending, it's because people are talking about it on social media, people are posting about it on social media. There is a hype that is created. And for those that are new to the channel, I call my viewers and subscribers plant foldies. Welcome to the channel. My name is Richie. I typically do big box or plant shopping videos, but today you are in store to see my Plantcon 2025 haul from Greenspaces ID and a couple of other overseas sellers. I do have some more plants. I actually received quite a bit of plants, so this is one of many videos that I will feature my Plantcon 2025 Houston plant haul. But as you can see right here, today I am focusing on Greenspaces ID. I will also talk about plants that I picked up from my friends through ArtGardenFlowers, which is another Indonesian seller. And then lastly, I will showcase my friend's roots plants from Live with Plants. It's another overseas seller from Thailand. But as you can see right here, plant foldies, I've kind of just talked through some of the process and some of my tips, things that you need to know whenever you're getting plants from overseas. But you can see the careful packaging everything that these workers do in order to increase the chances of these plants surviving and really making it into our doorsteps in the United States. And again, shout out to Greenspaces ID for the stellar communication, the amazing customer service. There are some people who have bought plants from overseas in the past, and they always want to just put a negative light into just receiving plants, not knowing that, yes, when you buy a plant from overseas, that plant may just not make it to your home in perfect condition. Sometimes the plant may end up just going to plant heaven upon arrival. So many factors place, but what I can say is at least the packaging, the packing, the care, the communication, and the plant pricing is amazing. And you know, places like Plantcon 2025 really makes it possible for us to do pickups. But before we get into the unboxing,
hey guys, I'm Janae from Janae Simone.
I'm Steve from I Live Plants.
and I am Richie from Grow Folds, and we are
Cultivation Corner. We are so excited. We have a plant podcast. We talk about any and everything, all things plants, and we premiere every Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on YouTube at cultivation_corner. So be sure to tune in and watch us.
Follow us also on Instagram, and be sure to share our videos and our episodes with all of you plant lovers. We need more cultivators, right,
Yes.
Steve?
Yes, we do. So what are you going to do? You're going to share the video.
You
That's
have
what
to.
you're gonna do.
Have to. Today. All right, guys.
Today.
We'll see you on the next one.
This is me at Houston Plantcon 2025 walking away with all my plants. So you'll see future videos of my plant haul, but the first one is going to be an unboxing from Greenspaces ID. You can see this one right here is a Jumbo Aglaonema. So these are large sizes. I love it. That would just be something that I haven't really received from overseas, but I figured since I was able to pick this up at Plantcon 2025 in Houston, this would be a little bit easier because these plants were literally just shipped the week of Plantcon. So I'm super excited. We're going to see what these plants are going to look like. Again, this one, I believe the first one that I will be unboxing is the Aglaonema in Tan Rumpun, which is basically very light Aglaonema, and you can see right from the get-go. You saw how it was packed earlier. Now you can see that this is what it looks like after traveling 10,000 miles to the United States. You can see that it's got that sphagnum moss, and we're gonna see what the roots look like here. But as far as the foliage, there's just a little bit of dehydrated leaves on it. But overall, based on what I saw when they first sent me videos from Indonesia and now unpacking, you can see that the plant traveled very well, and really thankful for that. Now, what is important whenever you are getting plants from overseas is literally the roots, because if you have a strong root system, then you should be able to acclimate these plants. It's going to take a good month or two for the plants to really settle, but once you start seeing new growth from the plants, that's when you know that it's actually settled. I will actually plant these up once that these plants are rehydrated. So you have to think about how dehydrated these plants out, how stressed they are. So I will be showing you the process of how I acclimate these right after the unboxing. But you can see right here, the roots are fairly well intact. You can see that there's nothing too brown or mushy. There's a couple that I am going to cut away or pull away because they did not do as well. But traveling wise, it's going to, I believe that this plant is going to acclimate. I will say that it is a little bit leggy, so I'm going to pot this further down into a taller pot once I get this rehydrated and acclimated. So again, I will show you the process. And for those that are still interested in seeing my Plantcon haul, stay tuned to the very end because there's a lot of other plants I will feature, but you can see this is the first one as well. The next one is going to be in Aglaonema hues. Now, I already have one of these in a smaller size, but I wanted to go ahead and get this jumbo size Aglaonema. And that's the thing about Greenspaces. They are able to source out some plants if you're looking for them. So just be sure to send a direct message on Instagram, for instance. Their customer service rep should be able to help you out, and you should be able to see the plants. So as you can see right here, this Aglaonema I already saw because they sent me videos. And that's something that I really appreciate about Greenspaces ID, is that they're able to showcase the plants if you are willing to communicate with them. So we're going to see about what that all looks like for this one. And you can see right here, as I unbox it, you can see that the plant is pretty much intact. There might be 1 or 2 leaves that are yellowing. And again, that is normal. But overall, you can see that this plant, which was actually featured at the very beginning of this video, was uprooted from its soil substrate, cleaned, and then disinfected with any potential pest, wrapped up. So there's just a lot that this plant goes through. I will say that Aglaonema tend to ship very well, just depending on the weather. So for instance, if you're doing a plant overseas import, you want to really time when you buy the plant. So for me, I don't want to buy plants from overseas in the summer months because it is extremely hot in Texas. You know, with 100+ degree weather, these plants get shipped to the broker, and then the broker ships using, I think, USPS, and you don't want these plants to be sitting in a hot truck. That is the reason why attending some places like Plantcon, for instance, where you can pick up these plants from the broker, plantstop.us, that is a really good way about ensuring that the plant has a higher success rate of survival. You can see right over here that the roots look viable, and the next step would be, after I unbox, is to actually rehydrate these roots and this plant by using nutrient solution, which is basically using Super Thrive and also Protect Silica solution to just get the plant de-stressed from all the travel and just all of the environmental changes. But this one right here, Aglaonema hues, what a beautiful Aglaonema. So we'll take a look at the next one right over here. This one is an Aglaonema Pamela. And the reason why I wanted to buy an Aglaonema Panama is it had a really unique color. So here's the thing that I took back from Plantcon 2025. This is what feedback I gave to the sellers. A lot of the sellers had a lot of variegated rare plants, whether it is a variegated Monstera, variegated Alocasia, or variegated philodendrons. We know that these are trending plants. But then I actually told some of the vendors and sellers at Plantcon, take a look at all of your competition. You can see that everybody is, selling or having very similar plants. And I always say, if you're able to create your own trend, such as, offering Aglaonema or something that you don't typically see, that will create awareness and possibly get more people interested in the plant. Unless I am crazy, I would say that, Aglaonema is definitely not a market that the U.S. has really gotten into. But, with Greenspaces ID, with me being able to get these plants from overseas, I'm able to see some of the plants that you would typically not see in the U.S. market. Like, this is a beautiful Jumbo Aglaonema with really good roots. So as far as the health of these plants, I would say that they traveled fairly well. There is a little bit of cosmetic damage. I already know, even once these plants are potted up in a soil substrate, and I am going to shout out Classy Rabbit Soil. That is the soil I will be using because it's fast draining, it's chunky, and it's something that will do very well for a plant that needs the best quality soil for it to rehydrate, to reestablish itself. But you can see right here, beautiful green leaves, and you can see this one right there, that yellow leaf, I'm going to go ahead and pull away. I'm going to get rid of some of the leaves that are just yellowing because it's going to take away energy from the plant. I would rather have the plant put its energy toward creating more stable roots as well as foliage. You can see right here, plant foldies. This is the last Jumbo Aglaonema. This is the Aglaonema Pretty Woman. I love the names of some of these Aglaonema. You'll notice that This has such beautiful pink peach foliage. You can see that there are a couple of leaves that are yellowing, and I have to tell you that is normal whenever you are getting plants from overseas. So here's my thing. If you are not realistic about what the plants are going to look like when you get them from overseas, then maybe overseas plants aren't necessarily a thing for everybody. I say, you know, for those that are really wanting to get plants that are a little bit more unique, a little harder to find, then yes, overseas plants is one route. But you can also buy plants like this for a premium price from people that have actually imported these plants, have grown and acclimated them. For me, since I have had experience and know the process of acclimation, I am a little bit more comfortable sharing my experiences with you. Now, if you are somebody that is looking to get plants from overseas, it is going to be trial and error. It is going to be through experience. Not all of your plants are going to make it past the acclimation period. So I have to be very transparent when it comes to that. I mean, you can see right here, these roots are still very much viable. They're very dehydrated. So it is imperative to at least rehydrate these plants within 24, 48 to 72 hours before you even consider putting them into some type of substrate. Now with Aglaonema, through trial and error and through experience, I've realized that Aglaonema aren't the best candidates when it comes to semi-hydroponic substrates such as lechuza pon or leca, since these Aglaonema prefer to be in a more drier environment. But as you can see here, once I am done with the actual unboxing, I went ahead and put them in nutrient solution water. So I am going to show you this. Look at how beautiful this Aglaonema intan rumpun is. What a beautiful Aglaonema. And I do want to ask all of the plant folies watching what you think of these Aglaonema. Did they ship well? Would you consider getting plants from overseas? Leave that in the comments section. And if you made it this far into the video, please make sure you are pressing the thumbs up or like button for this video, because the next section would be my other plants that I received from overseas when I picked up at Plantcon. So stay tuned for that. But I'm going to go ahead and give you some glamour shots of my new plants that are currently hydrating in nutrient solution. And call me biased, but you know, with Greenspaces ID, at least I've had very good experiences with them. And here's the thing. If the plant for some reason like appears in your mailbox or your pickup dead upon arrival, as long as you send them a direct message with photos of the plant, they are able to replace the plant. You would just have to pay for the shipping portion, which I still think is not a bad deal, because if you're going to place a future order, you can always put in the replacement plant for that order. But as you can see right over here, I mean, look at how these plants shipped. They are massive Aglaonema. You really have to see the size comparison as compared to the typical Aglaonema I've gotten. But like this one right here, this Aglaonema pretty lady, yes, there was some yellowing leaves, some leaves that did not make it, but for the most part, look at how beautiful the leaves are. Look at how healthy this is. And that is the reason why whenever there is a plant show such as Plantcon, where plantstop.us will be there, the broker, I would always suggest doing a pre-order pickup for these plants from overseas. A lot of the nurseries that we actually get these rare or uncommon plants are able to get these plants from overseas, and they just end up growing them and acclimating them. So the part that is challenging is just acclimating these plants, and whether they make it past the acclimation period, it remains to be seen. But you can see Aglaonema hues. This one is actually really large. I'm going to have to put it in a larger pot up. And you know, the good thing about these Jumbo Aglaonema is they have a higher chance of acclimating. I just have to make sure that these plants get rehydrated and then also be put in a soil substrate that is high quality, such as classy rabbit soil. So we'll take a look at the rest of the aglaonema. Let me know what you think. And if you aren't following Greenspaces ID, follow them on Instagram at Greenspaces ID. Shop their website, greenspaces.id, and let me know what you think. I think it was worth the money, the time invested, because the communication of the seller, Greenspaces ID, was flawless. I was able to see the plants, and you can even see the videos earlier where they were showing me what the plants look like. These plants shipped as close to what I saw initially, which is super impressive. And so, you know, again, definitely go to the website, greenspaces.id, place your order. I would say the more plants you receive or buy, the more of a discount you would get. So the next unboxing I will do for this plant haul is ArtGardenFlowers. So this is actually a nursery out in Indonesia by my good friend Riki. I have met Riki in person multiple times at many plant cons from Houston, Dallas, Orlando, and he wasn't at the Houston 2025 Plantcon, but he did source me out several plants. And these 3 plants that I will be actually unboxing are what you call the variegated Anthurium pterodactyls. They were so beautiful. And here's the thing. If you ever want to place a bulk order, it's always good to go through with a friend. So this one right here that I am unboxing is actually a friend of mine. His name is Sean, and I met him actually out at Texas Aeroid Show, and we've just kept in touch. So all of these plants that I'm getting right over here, I'm going to show you. So you can see that Greenspaces ID and ArtGardenFlowers has a different way of packing their plants. I do appreciate Riki's Nursery because he has his own brokerage and air cargo service. So this one right here is the variegated Anthurium pterodactyl, and look at how stunning this variegation is. For my Anthurium lovers, let me know what you think. And you can see right here, this shipped out very well. I'm actually a little jealous of my friend Sean because he had a higher variegated version of the Anthurium pterodactyl. So that was a pickup I did, and that's a reason why it's always great to have a community of friends, because then if you're getting plants from overseas, you can split the cost on shipping and you get bigger discounts whenever you are buying multiple plants. So those are some of the tips. But look at this. Isn't this stunning? And this again is from ArtGarden.Flowers on Instagram. Follow them on Instagram. If you want to buy plants from Riki, you can send him a direct message on Instagram. Because if you are a Anthurium fan, he has many different types of Anthurium hybrids. So this one is the Anthurium pterodactyl, the variegated one, and you can see that. Look at the roots, and we're going to see if they're viable roots. So the thing about these Anthuriums is they actually ship fairly well, especially when they're a little bit larger like this. I love the fact that ArtGarden.Flowers actually has amazing shipping processes. You'll see in my other future Plantcon 2025 Houston plant haul, you'll see all of the other plants, because I will have multiple Plantcon videos. The majority of my plants are coming from overseas, and it's because these are the plants I wanted. But you can see this one right here. Look at this. Would you say that this Anthurium is amazing? Look at the roots, super healthy. Shout out to Riki. Shop Riki. Please go to ArtGarden.Flowers on Instagram. Look at how highly variegated this is. And I always tell my friend Sean, like, you better take care of this Anthurium because it is flawless. It is stunning, and it is worth the price, because the price that we paid for versus the prices that you would get by buying a variegated Anthurium pterodactyl in the United States was very much more cost effective and budget friendly. So here's the second one right here. This one is for my friend Jordan. He wanted one as well, so I picked it up for him. And you can see with this variegated Anthurium pterodactyl, this one has very minimal damage. So there's just a little yellowing, which I am going to do my friend a favor and just cut off that yellowing so it won't look as bad. It'll just be just a little imperfect. But in terms of this variegation on this Anthurium pterodactyl, this one has more of the greener variety on it. But you know what? That's just going to make the plant a little bit more stable, because when you have high variegation on a plant, it doesn't necessarily make it the most fast growing plant. I will say, my friend Sean, if you're looking for that variegation, it's definitely a lot more variegated than this, but it is still such a good variegated Anthurium pterodactyl. Let me know in the comment section, plant foldies, what you think about these beautiful plants right here. Would you buy one? Definitely, please follow @garden.flowers on Instagram. Let them know. Let Ricky know you are a plant foldie, that you are one of my viewers and followers, because if you ever want to do some future purchases, they're going to definitely get you some great pricing. And you can see this one's super healthy. Kudos to the ArtGardenFlowers staff for really packing these plants, taking the time. And you can see after I cut off the little yellowing on the leaf, it doesn't look as bad anymore. And you can do that whenever you have some leaves that have some yellowing or cosmetic damage. Just take a pair of scissors and just cut off that damaged leaf, or just a damaged part of the leaf, and you are back in business. But this is another beautiful specimen that I wanted to share, part of my Plantcon haul. I didn't show you with the Aglaonema jumbo ones that I got from Greenspaces ID. Is with all my plants from overseas, I like to spray a neem oil spray solution. So I'm actually using We the Wild neem oil spray just to make sure that there is a protective coating on the plants. You can see right here, look at how beautiful that variegation is on this variegated Anthurium pterodactyl. I then will wash the roots that were sprayed down with neem oil spray, but leave the neem oil spray on the stems, the petioles, as well as the leaves. And then I will put this in a nutrient solution to rehydrate these plants. If I were to put them in a soil substrate or even a semi-hydro substrate like leca or lechuza pond, I also would just make sure that these are rehydrated to make sure that the plant actually gets nutrients from the long journey. Now, again, these plants have traveled 10,000 miles to make it to North Dallas, which is where I'm based at. So it's important to make sure that you clean the roots, make sure that the sphagnum moss protecting the roots are completely clean, and you just need to make sure that these plants are put in an area where they get bright indirect light as they acclimate and rehydrate within 72 hours. Now that the roots are completely clean and the plant has that neem oil solution on the leaves to protect it from any potential plant pests, I will fill up the clear glass with nutrient solution. So my nutrient solution is actually a gallon of water mixed with Super Thrive, just a cap full, and then also a half of a tablespoon of Protect Super Thrive silica solution, which you can buy on Amazon. It will just make sure that the plant cells are fortified and that B vitamin from the Super Thrive will help rejuvenate the plant and de-stress it. So that's what's super important about these import plants or the plants you receive from overseas. You can see that these variegated Anthurium pterodactyls are looking amazing. I also have one myself, which I will show you when I do the pan out for for the 3 variegated Anthurium pterodactyls that I got from Riki of ArtGardenFlowers. Again, I believe that these plants are super healthy, especially for plants that have traveled from overseas. So as you can see right here, I will show you what they look like after they are in a nutrient solution. Let me know in the comment section, plant foldies, what you think of these Anthuriums, and would you buy from ArtGarden.Flowers on Instagram for these beautiful plants. They do have so many different Anthuriums, so if you are an Anthurium collector, if you love philodendrons, other aroids, and aglaonema, definitely send a direct message to ArtGarden.Flowers on Instagram, and they should be able to point you in the right direction. But you can see this is my friend Jordan's Anthurium, and then my Anthurium will be featured last. I would say mine is actually in between both of these Anthuriums in terms of variegation. It's very balanced, but these are beautiful, and I hope you guys will also get one of these Anthuriums eventually. This is my variegated Anthurium pterodactyl. What do you think of that variegation? It is beautiful, and I cannot wait for this plant to continue to grow. I will actually place my variegated Anthurium pterodactyl in Lechuza Pond because the Anthuriums I have growing in that substrate do amazing. And then this is a shot of all 3 variegated Anthurium from ArtGardenFlowers on Instagram. Thank you so much, Riki, for always working with me, and I hope to send you more buyers and continued success because you are amazing, and also the staff. And again, to the staff of Plantcon, thank you for having these international sellers. They are amazing, and I just love the fact that their plants are healthy, beautiful, unique, and most importantly, budget friendly, especially for those that are looking for these rare and uncommon plants that we typically don't see in the United States. So let me know what you think in the comment section, plant foldies, of the plant haul I've had so far. Hopefully you guys are inspired to buy plants from overseas and also attend Plantcon. Plantcon is amazing, good vibes only, and hopefully you will also shop at ArtGarden.Flowers on Instagram. Send them a direct message. Please tell Riki you are a plant foldie, and we're gonna go to a little slight commercial. I also wanted to feature Classy Rabbit soil. So we've been looking at a lot of these overseas plants that need a really good soil to acclimate in our space. Classy Rabbit soil is a local small business based out in McKinney, Texas. All of the ingredients of this amazing soil is 100% naturally sourced. So the ingredients of this soil substrate would include rabbit manure. It would also have rice hull, pumice. What else does it have? It also has composted food waste, so it's very sustainable. It has natural mycorrhizae, which helps actually establish the roots. It is a very complete soil, so you don't really have to add anything else to it. I love it. I plant all my aglaonema in it. I plant all of these overseas plants, and I would highly recommend using this soil. You can buy Classy Rabbit soil from classyrabbit.com. They do offer free shipping, and in terms of Classy Rabbit soil, I always ask anybody that watches my videos, have you pooped on your plants? Because if you haven't, then you have not met Classy Rabbit soil. I love the fact that Classy Rabbit soil was also at Plantcon, and hopefully we continue to see Classy Rabbit soil grow. I would recommend it for anybody that wants to have a really good soil substrate, because it does really rely on that natural ingredients to establish the roots of the plant. So you can see I potted up this aglaonema, and I did want to show you an example of how fast draining this soil is. So you can see right off the bat, as soon as I put the water and soak it, it is just going through the soil very quickly, but that does not mean that this soil does not retain moisture. I would say, especially for the plants that like to be more so on the drier side, this is a perfect soil. So for my aglaonema lovers, for those that watch my Plant Foldy channel, you can see that these aglaonema are thriving. And for all of the plants that I received from Plantcon 2025 in Houston, they will all be potted up in Classy Rabbit soil. If you haven't already, definitely check it out. And again, you must and I say this, you must poop on your plants. Shop classyrabbit.com. Let them know you are a plant foldie. And for all of the plant foldies that went to Plantcon in Houston, it was amazing to meet you guys. And I'm so glad that my awareness or my campaign to really get Classy Rabbit out there actually turned into sales for Classy Rabbit. I really hope that you guys find success with your plants, because I have been very successful with a lot of the Classy Rabbit soil I have used. I've gone through so many bags. So the next and final seller that I got plants from on this plant haul is Live with Plants, which is a seller from Thailand. My friend Sarut was able to source out some very rare aglaonema. So you can see right here, this was my plant pickup. So I often talk about the aglaonema red Siam whenever I go to a big box store like Lowe's, Home Depot, or Walmart. This is the variegated version. This is the aglaonema red Siam variegated form, or what you would call the aglaonema variegated Siam aurora. You can see that just like the plants that I received from Indonesia, these plants came from Thailand, these aglaonemas specifically, and you can see that Sarut and his nursery and team have also packed these plants in sphagnum moss. So again, I have to reiterate, whenever you are getting plants from overseas, it is not acceptable for plants to come in soil substrates. You have to have them soilless because of the potential plant pests and contamination from foreign lands. We just want to make sure that we are getting plants that are following the regulations of getting plants from overseas. And you can see right here, the sphagnum moss is a little bit drier. And honestly, I prefer that because then the roots don't have that extra heat to possibly rot. It's just to make sure that the roots are protected. So as far as Plantcon 2025 again in Houston, you can see that I just went overboard, probably went a little crazy on my aglaonema kick, but this is the variegated aglaonema red Siam. It is the hyper version of the aglaonema red Siam, which is the official mascot plant of the Grow Folds YouTube channel. And Plant Foldies, I did want to point out there, if you like this content, just know I do have a YouTube membership tier, and I will repeat, it is only the price for a cup of coffee. It's only $2.99. Please support it by joining my YouTube membership tier, because all the plants you are seeing here, you will see updates of the plants as they continue to grow and develop. Just press the link button on the comment section that I have pinned if you want to join the YouTube membership tier. Now, this is another aglaonema of some sort. This is some type of variegated aglaonema. Sarut, my friend who was able to source it out, while he was in Thailand, he sent me a picture of this aglaonema. He happened to be at another plant show in Thailand, and he asked me if I wanted him to bring this plant to Plantcon, and of course I had to say yes. Like, you wave an aglaonema in my face, and whether I already have 1, 2, 3, a dozen, I'm probably going to end up buying it. That is the true testament of somebody who is addicted to plants. I do have a plant addiction. I'm working on trying to wean away from it, but when it comes to aglaonema, I mean, I just can't help myself. This one has some really unique aurea variegation, this yellow variegation. There is one leaf that is going to be pulled away. It didn't look like it made it through the trip, but overall, this is another beautiful plant, and you'll notice that there's actually a little baby shoot that is coming out from this aglaonema. So I'll let it grow out a little bit more and eventually separate and propagate from the mother plant. I've never seen this aglaonema, and while aglaonema have some really unique colors and features, it's always nice to see a variegated aglaonema. You know, we talk about these rare variegated philodendron, monsteras, alocasias. Aglaonemas also have it, and I just think that these are such cool plants, just as cool as those Anthuriums, those variegated alocasias, and other hybrids. So you can see right here, Plant Foldies. This is such a great plant haul. I hope you guys have enjoyed looking at some of the plants I have received. I have a couple more videos installed for you from my Plantcon Houston 2025 plant haul, the plants that I got from Plantcon. You can see the beautiful variegation right here. I mean, this is stunning, and I got it for a very good price. Normally, this aglaonema to get from overseas would be around $300 or $400. Let's just say that Sarut got me a a very good price. So again, it always pays to kind of shop around, make sure that you build a relationship with these international vendors. Definitely feel free to send them a direct message and communicate with them, because they may be able to find you some really cool plants. And then this one right here, take a look at this Aglaonema variegated species. Not sure what it is, but I do love the red faint veining and then the variegation, that aurea variegation there. I did get rid of one of the leaves that was kind of soft and moldy. That's the thing. You have to make sure that you get rid of any leaves or anything that is just not healthy for the plant, especially in a time when this plant is a little bit more vulnerable to plant pests. I do have them in a clear glass jar with some nutrient solution, and these plants will be potted up in classy rabbit soil. So stay tuned for the potting up video. You know, if you like relaxing ASMR videos where I'm literally not talking, some of you guys probably would prefer me not to talk as much, but overall, I just can't believe I was able to source out such beautiful plants. Plant foldies, I really hope you guys have really been a little bit more open in actually getting plants from overseas. If you plan to attend the Dallas Plantcon later this year, as well as the New York City Plantcon, most of these international vendors will be there, and hopefully you can do a pre-order pickup for these gorgeous plants. Again, we do have a lot of the aglaonemas, but if you're interested in other aroids, anthuriums, you can also buy them from Greenspaces ID, ArtGardenFlowers, and from my friend Sarut from Live With Plants. Follow all of their social medias on Instagram. Let them know you're a plant foldie. But as you can see right here, for plants that have traveled more than 10,000 miles to an international Plantcon show, I think these are amazing. And I'm really excited to share my journey with all of the plant foldies. Hopefully this has brought you joy, because even me doing the unboxing, me promoting and creating awareness for all of these international vendors, you have to think that these plants took a long time to grow and then to prepare them to be exported into plantcon.org. So that's the website if you want to buy tickets to Plantcon. Please, again, consider joining my YouTube membership tier. It does create the sustainability for this YouTube channel. You know, to put it bluntly, it does create a little bit of passive income for me to be able to, number one, make this type of content, and number two, be able to afford these plants. So as always, my name is Richie at Growfolds. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel with all the notification bell on. Just know throughout the week, I will be having tons of Plantcon 2025 Houston content. I'll see you then.